Dave Portnoy, talks about why he left the Democratic Party. Let's watch it.
My nutshell is generally they were very anti-normal guys. The white guy, and this sounds, but was the bad guy, became the bad guy. And there's a lot of, white dudes who are like, well, I'm not the bad guy. Like, what are you getting mad at me for? I wasn't here for colonialism or any of the stuff that you guys are complaining about 200 years ago. Like, what did I do?
It's not just white men, the men in general. When you look at the number, the flip, Democrats in 2020 had 52%, and then Trump had 45%. And it flipped in 2024. Democrats 45% and Trump 53%.
Yeah. So Dave is 100% right, and and the Democrats know it because you remember the white dudes for Kamala that they had for Harris. They did like a $10 million ad campaign for white dudes for Kamala. So they realize they have a problem with white dudes. But Trump actually didn't increase his support among white men from 2016 to 2024. He did increase his support among black men.
Right.
He did increase his support among Asians. He did increase his support among naturalized citizens, so illegal immigrants who came here and got citizenship.
There's a war from the Democrats on men. It's not about a race thing, it's about a gender thing. The Democrats don't want strong men. We see it. Who are they in favor of? They're in favor of transgenders. They want transgenders to be around. Why? Because that's more of a feminine woman, more of a feminine man, actually. They're not women. Democrats don't want a strong man. They want women to be into power. Why do you think their biggest base is white liberal women? And then black liberal women. They don't want strength. They want the women and the men that are feminine to run the United States. That's the reason why so many men gravitated to President Trump. Black men, white men, Asian men, Latino men. Every man went to damn near President Trump. So anybody that you see, you look at the news, look at the men that represent the Democratic side. Are they strong men that you would say, yeah? No, they're feminine men. They're men that says, oh no, this and that. I have no problem with gay people because there are some strong gay people. You just gay. It is what it is. But it's usually the feminine men that are in favor of Democrats. Democrats do not want strength. They don't want strong men because why? They want to prop up women. They want the white liberal woman. They want the immigrant women. As you see, their biggest talkers, their biggest people that they want are women. They don't want men to be in power. So when we say what the Democrats are all about, they're about just keeping the natural order of having the man be the strength. Because the woman is supposed to nurture the man and be there for the man and support the man. The man cannot be ruled by a woman. That's what the Democrats want. They want the man to be feminine. They want him to be soft. We want people to be taken care of. We want people to be strong. We want our kids to see what strength looks like. Can a woman be strong? Absolutely. But that is not at the detriment or the downfall of men. So this is how you see it. You see that the Democrats are looking at men and no, only way we can be better than men is we have to make them feminine. We have to make them weak. We have to make them want to be women and go into women's bathrooms. This is what the Democrats are all about. This is what they want. This is why a lot of men went to Trump. Didn't matter about race. It just matters about gender equality. It just matter about I'm a man. Do not criticize me because I'm being a strong male and I have strong values. That's what this is about. Look at everybody that's on the Democratic side. Do you see strength? Do you see somebody that you fear? Do you see somebody that's like, yeah, I want them to run my country? No. But who's the biggest talkers and the biggest supporters of Democrats? Women. White liberal women, black women. Who's the biggest talkers and the trash talkers for the Democratic Party? Black women. They are trying to have it a party. They're trying to have America where men that are strong, that have morals, are not being celebrated. We need to take them away. We can't beat them one-on-one, so we have to make them weak. Why do you think they want to give women hormones? Because I can beat you if you're weaker. Men are naturally stronger than women. I'm sorry, women. This is how we were made. But this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make the men weaker to take over. There's nothing wrong with being strong. There's nothing wrong with being a woman and being strong. But we can be strong in different areas. But no, a man and a woman cannot compete. It is not fair. And the women know that. The Democrats know that. So we have to make these men weaker. They don't represent strong men. It doesn't matter the race. A lot of people were Democrats. Why did they leave? Look at the agenda that the Democrats are pushing. No, I'm not transphobic. Not at all. If that's what you want to do. You want to be a man and dress up as a woman. That's been around for a long time. It's called drag. They did it years. It was hidden. It was a forbidden fruit, but they did it. There's nothing wrong with you do at night. But now they're trying to have it in the open, have it acceptable, and changing your body parts. Drag wasn't like that. They didn't change their body parts and try to be a woman in broad daylight. They just wanted to be a woman, so they played dress up at night. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But don't try to flip it and say, men are weak, we have to make them weak. I have no problem with trans people. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. You're still a person. I still love you as a child of God. But when you try to degrade men and make strong men look bad for your political gain, that's what the Democrats are doing. Never thought I would be a big political person. But when you look at the world, you look at it, you just look at our politics and you see what's represented. It's not even about race anymore. It's about religion and gender. The Christians, the strong men, are Republicans. It's just what it is. A lot of people that lost their way, that lost their faith, that don't know what to find, looking for something to cling on to, want something very different, are Democrats. So what do we do as a nation? But we have to understand why men are leaving the Democratic Party. So what do we do? What do we do? Is the Democratic Party going to be successful?
He didn't win the popular vote in 2016 or 2020, but he did in 2024. Why? Because of increase in support among minorities.
Right.
So we're absolutely right that the white dudes are going to be with Trump. But what made him president this time was the fact that black dudes voted for him and Asian dudes voted for him and Hispanic dudes voted for him. He made great gains in Hispanics. So we need to keep that coalition, but we need to the path to expanding it is to expand it to minorities.
And I think the president has to stay in the zone for what he did on the campaign trail. He was the garbage truck president.
Yep.
He was the McDonald's worker president. He was the barbershop president that went to all of these places.
Absolutely.
Got to stay right in there. Mark, thanks so much for joining us.
That's what it is. The men have to stay with President Trump and the Republican Party. That is the party of men right now, because that's who's getting supported. The men that work hard, the men that go to work, the men that don't want things handed to them have to be Republicans. It doesn't even matter what you think about President Trump. You have to think about what party represents men. The Republicans. That's just what it is. So if anybody thinks differently, I would love to see that in the comments. Because are there strong men that think that this stuff is right? What's going on? Probably not. Do you think that there should be transgender women in women's bathrooms? What does that say about men? You are not needed. We can create you. What does it say to women? It's just like creating a world of just fakeness. It takes away the value of women, takes the value away from men, it makes the men into women, and then the women are in power. How do you break down a system? How do you break down a culture? You start at the strongest point, which is the man. If we break them down, nobody else can compete with us. And that's what the Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to make men look weak. They're trying to make men into women, and they're trying to turn the public to make that look acceptable. But do you think it's acceptable? This is why women need to stop saying you don't need a man. Because the Democrats love that. That's what they want you to think. You don't need a man. We can get this and this. You don't need a man. Is that right? But then it goes to a thing on to women. We don't need women. Because a man could be a woman? So who's needed? But what I always tell my kids, what I always tell my wife, I said, when there's confusion, when there's things that you can't explain, that means there's a lot of ill stuff happening behind it. There's a lot of people making money. In the Democrats, people are making money off of our confusion. When they're in place, it's in shackles, crime is down, everything's all jacked up. But somebody behind is making all of the money. So if you're a man, it's not even about, really about the issues. You just stop and say, which party is for men that want strong men, that wants a man that works, that wants a man to provide, that wants a man to go to a man's bathroom? It's the Republicans. You can't even go into crime. You can't even go into foreign policy. You don't even have to go that deep. Which one respect men and feel like men are needed in this country today? That's a question you have to ask yourself. You don't need to ask any other question. You don't need to talk about, oh, there's crime in my city. Oh, there's SNAP benefits. Oh, there's wasteful spending. Let's talk about those issues. It's not even that deep anymore. I'm a man which party celebrates a strong man trying to protect his wife and kids and has morals and values and work hard. Doesn't matter how much money I make, I am still valuable in this country. That's the question you have to ask yourself from the jump. You don't need to ask yourself anything else. Why would you? Doesn't need to get that deep. So as a man that's voting for whatever you're voting for, whether it's mayor, whether it's governor, whether it's your assemblyman, just ask the question. Which of these people I'm supposed to be voting for actually in support of a real man like me?